Hello, my name is Betsy von Holle. I'm a program officer in the Division of Environmental Biology at the National Science Foundation. Thanks for listening in on my overview of how I got to my career as a program director at the NSF, as well as some helpful tips for early career folks. So, how did I get into ecology? Well, primarily it was a love of the environment and biodiversity. Ever since I was a little kid, and pictured on the upper left, I love to be outside and exploring nature. In high school, I really had no idea about other career pathways beyond that of a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher. And so college was a huge turning point for me, especially a mini OTS course that the University of California system where I was attending operates. I was able to do fieldwork in Costa Rica, as well as survey totally cool plants and animals, such as this bat pictured on the lower left here. So there was really no turning back after that course because I realized that I could go into a career that I loved as well as get paid. So how did I go from being an undergrad at UC San Diego in the upper left, where I majored in ecology, behavior, and evolution. Then I moved on to grad school after a stint at the Smithsonian. I attended grad school at the University of Tennessee in their ecology and evolutionary biology program. And then after that, I did a couple of different postdocs. The first one was a National Park Ecological Research Fellowship, where I took that fellowship to Harvard Forest and conducted research on Cape Cod National Seashore. And then the second postdoctoral fellowship was a AAAS fellowship, where I worked in the research and development shop at the EPA studying invasion biology. After that, I secured a tenure-track position at the University of Central Florida, where I studied coastal ecology and invasion biology. So the secret that I'm not sure some of you want to hear is that you get less and less time to be outdoors, which many of us start our careers thinking that that's why we chose ecology, as you move through faculty and administrative positions. And so the next step in my career was NSF. And so I started off doing ad hoc reviews as a postdoctoral researcher at Harvard. And then I continued to do these ad hoc reviews as a faculty member, through my postdoctoral career as well as my faculty career. And then eventually I started to serve on panels as a faculty member. I realized that I really enjoyed panel service, and so I asked to serve as a rotating program officer. And I was able to do that after I got tenure at the University of Central Florida. And so then after a couple of years of being a rotating program officer, I realized I really enjoyed the job. And I applied for a permanent program officer position in the population community ecology program, which is where I am now. And so before I kind of give you tips about this career track, you may want to know why I like my job. Primarily, I like my job because there is a culture of collaboration and not of competition. So the main goal of my job is to find and fund the best science. And that is the exact same goal as everybody who works at my work. And I found that to be a very different experience than the academic culture, where your primary goal is to conduct the best science possible and to secure money for that for your lab, which often puts you in competition with your colleagues for everything from money to space. The Division of Environmental Biology, where I work, has one of the highest proposal loads in the foundation, and we work really hard as a team to select the research that will move our respective fields forward. Another thing I like about my job is that I get to help craft new scientific programs. Every once in a while, money surfaces for new scientific programs at the National Science Foundation. And if you have the expertise appropriate for that topic, you can help craft new scientific programs using your expertise in that field. I am part of a new program called the Coastlines and People Program, or COPE, where we are trying to facilitate multidisciplinary science to address coastal sustainability and using basic science to achieve that. I also get to conduct my own research, which is kind of why I set out to get a PhD in the first place. As a permanent program director, my research has been dramatically scaled back from when I had my own research lab and students and postdocs to conduct the research. NSF gives rotators and permanent program officers 20% of their time to conduct their own independent research. And so this is a picture of me conducting a nitrogen deposition experiment, which is also a restoration on Cape Cod, where I have worked for the past and done different research projects for the past 15 years. The other thing I like is the quality of life. I really love the quality of life in DC. I get to ride my bike to Alexandria from Arlington, where NSF was previously. And that bike ride is along the Potomac. These are views of my typical commute. There are also lots of free things to do in the nation's capital besides bike riding, including museums and concerts. I also like to live in the same city as my husband and son, who is 11 years old. Excuse me, the DC metro area offers amazing public transportation, amazing public educational opportunities for children, as well as lots of enrichment opportunities. On top of that, we get to meet amazing people every day, ranging from CIA agents to State Department folks who move from country to country and have some pretty good stories to tell. So some advice I give to young professionals is to find a mentor in a field that interests you, so you can receive practical guidance as you progress through your career. This may not always be your graduate advisor. Most academic programs that I've been associated with have emphasized the academic career track as the outcome, the ultimate outcome for their graduate students and postdocs. But you should know that there are a lot of fulfilling career tracks in the state and federal service. This is going to sound really obvious, but people change both professionally and personally as they progress through their career. And having your priorities clear is really important as you move through your career so that you can be aiming for the right or your outcomes. And to get an idea about the types of careers available to you, it's really helpful to cast a wide net. You may find careers that you didn't know about or that appeal to you by speaking with professionals in their field. You, as a listener, are clearly making that move here by listening to the range of careers available to you in ecology by tuning in on this session. A great way to be informed about the National Science Foundation is to get information directly from us. So that includes updates, which are on the upper left here, where you can find guidance of how to do that, as well as blogs in biology. Debrief is the one that I'm associated with in the Division of Environmental Biology. We regularly hold office hours about upcoming solicitations. You can always send an email to a program officer with questions or email them to set up a time to chat. We are always happy to help. The best way to learn about what goes on at the National Science Foundation is to serve as a reviewer. And I included a link here on the upper right. We are always looking for rotating program officers from our panelist pool. And to volunteer for that, here's another link on the bottom right. So I have not been paid extra to say this, but being an NSF program officer is a really good job. Working as a program officer involves collaboration between other program officers across the foundation. This creates a really collaborative and collegial environment, which makes it a great place to work. My goal of this talk is to convince you that being a Fed is cool. Rachel Carson was a Fed, and so that might inspire you. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Feel free to reach out to me or any other program officer at the National Science Foundation if you're interested in applying to our programs or serving as a reviewer or as a rotating program director. I will answer any emails that you might submit to this session, and I will also join in on the question and answer session for this section on ecology careers exploration. And that's Wednesday, August 5th from 1 to 1:30 p.m. And I also included the link here. Thanks so much, and have a great meeting.